Hi friends, welcome to the NPTEL course Strategy and Technology, a Practical Primer. We are in week 12 with the theme of Technology and Strategy case studies. In this lecture, this 57th in the series, we discuss the case studies of Dyson and 3M. Dyson demonstrates how passion for innovation coupled with perfection can get for the company an unbeatable edge in the domain it chooses to be in. In the case of Dyson, it was the vacuum cleaner domain to start with. Dyson also teaches us that a firm can practice both incremental innovation and disruptive innovation simultaneously. It also teaches us that innovation is rendered more effective by strategic capabilities. 3M is known for a stream of innovative products that are either standalone products or product platforms that merge into other innovative products. 3M case teaches us that institutionalization of innovation is core and central to assure perpetual innovation in corporations. Innovation can ensure leadership position for firms. Innovation is the foundation to build perpetuity. Innovation is driven by passion as demonstrated by Dyson and is assured by institutionalization as shown by 3M. Let us look at Dyson a little more closely. It is a company that exists in the household appliances industry, founded in 1991. Founder James Dyson. Major presence US, UK, EU and lately emerging markets. Revenue of $8.2 billion, net income of $1.9 billion. Type of company, private limited company, employee strength 13,000 plus. Has manufacturing plants in Singapore and Malaysia, market capitalization $20 billion. Products, vacuum cleaners, hand dryers, bladeless air purifier fans, heaters, hair dryers, lights. The images reflect the products that Dyson produces. We have two timelines here, 1978 to 2009 and another timeline for subsequent period. When you look at the timeline, you will find that it is full of innovative developments. Whether it is unclogging the dust in a vacuum cleaner or having the highest speed of hand drying air fan, it is distinguishing innovation that characterized the products that Dyson developed. He also invested early in R&D centers and in manufacturing plants. His wheelbarrow ball technology transplanted into vacuum cleaner was one of the kind in the industry. Between 2010 and 2020, he kept on expanding the manufacturing footprint in the more cost-effective Asian region and also unveiled new products in the beauty segment apart from the cleaner segment. From barrows to billions is a phrase that sits nicely on James Dyson's shoulders. In the late 1970s, James Dyson observed that the industrial dust extractor at his factory could be scaled down for home use. This marked the beginning of Dyson's most profitable business. The machine in his factory had a potential blockbuster feature that has never been used in home appliances. It did not need a bag to collect dust. Instead, it spun air fast, flinging dust outwards through centrifugal force. That was the first in the domain. Dyson dismantled his vacuum cleaner at home and attached a cyclone device made from cardboards and tapes which worked without any problem. And the cardboard and tape technology of developing prototypes was a very innovative first step in establishing a strong prototyping foundation in his R&D. It took 4 more years and 5,000 plus prototypes for him to create the successful machine which worked to his satisfaction. He practiced incremental and breakthrough innovation simultaneously. The Dyson Dual Cyclone is the first breakthrough in vacuum cleaner technology since 1901. Though a breakthrough in home appliance industry, it did not happen overnight. As I said, it took more than 5,000 prototypes before Dyson became a household name. He also got the idea of a transparent case for the novel cyclonic vacuum cleaner that he developed. It was an incremental innovation. It demonstrated how small incremental innovations can still be disruptive whilst being cheap and easy to implement. Other Dyson's most innovative products are the following: a bladeless fan which drew in air and amplified it up to 18 times in a quiet and smooth fashion. Dyson Airblade works like a windshield wiper, scraping water from hands with a 400 miles per hour sheet of air. The Dyson DC-25 multi-floor vacuum cleaner is lightweight and powerful and uses ball technology, which makes it easy for steering. Dyson DC-31 uses motorized brush bar, which removes pet hair from carpets easily. The Dyson's groom tool can be attached to the vacuum cleaner, which can be used to brush off dog's hair before it sheds. Even though Dyson stopped its washing machine production, it was innovative as it had two drums rotating in opposite directions to simulate the manipulation and flexing of hand washing. Dyson's products showed his mastery over the laws of physics and their application to day-to-day chores. Dyson followed digital product development. For example, in the case of DC-15 vacuum cleaner, he extensively used digital product development and maintained fast development cycles. The way it started here was that he was driven to innovate based on the revolutionary ball technology, and he replaced the traditional rigid wheels of a vacuum cleaner with a ball. Design engineers used next generation technology to produce 3D models that helped in the clarity of thinking and refining of the ball mechanism. So he achieved fast transition from concept to 3D. He was also amongst the first to deploy additive manufacturing. He did rapid prototypes based on design data directly. This next generation geometry into STL files and later on prototyping enabled Dyson manufacture thousands of prototypes almost effortlessly, and he used prototype creation technology based on successive layers of powdered nylon. Computer simulation is extensively used in Dyson R&D to boost design accuracy. To eliminate design errors, Dyson used several NX digital simulation and testing capabilities. Overall development cycle shrunk as a result. Tool makers were also confident because the accuracy of the tools were ensured, and computerized 3D generation of components that are required led to very accurate tool development, and complex cutting tools were directly developed. That's how the entire product development cycle was perfect and fast. Dyson's was a design-driven business. His latest upright vacuum is sold at €460, which is 4 times the price of a standard vacuum cleaner. People are willing to pay that premium because they also perceive innovation and rich features. Dyson products are expensive, but the design premium carries the day for the products. Not only the products are design-driven, but they are also extensively tested. And he sidestepped the trend for low-cost home goods and concentrated significantly on innovation. As a result, Dyson captured major section of the market. The marketing strategy is also very clear. It tries to portray technology very clearly to the customer. The vacuum cleaner's famous transparent body was one tool to achieve that. Dyson embraces risk and the potential for failure as part of the process, particularly when it comes to his employees. Incremental change consists of a number of changes that happens over a long design cycle, long development cycle of a product. Radical improvement occurs in one fell sweep. He combined incremental change along with the radical improvement. He demonstrated that small incremental innovation can still be disruptive and can work along with genuine disruptive innovation. He used computerization, he used digital simulation to eliminate design errors. He improved elegance and he improved accuracy. Dyson comments on his failure in the washing machine business as the most wonderful educative failure reflects how he takes failures or disappointments as a stepping stone to succeed further. He had an electric vehicle initiative. It was very ambitious. He had planned to invest more than £2 billion in developing a radical and different electric vehicle, a project he launched in 2016. Half of the funds were envisaged for car and half for battery. Dyson said the car would not be aimed at the mass market. Here we have a position of Dyson along with the electric car. In October 2018, Dyson revealed plans to build the car at a new plant in Singapore, with the first vehicles due to roll off the production line in 2021. In 2019, He, however, had to call off the EV project. Dyson concluded that he cannot afford to play with the big boys in the electric vehicle industry, although his efforts to make a quantum leap in battery technology will continue. Sir James Dyson said, "The Dyson automotive team has developed a fantastic car. They have been ingenious in their approach while remaining faithful to our philosophies." He also said, "Dyson would continue to work on the battery technology which was used in the car. Our battery will benefit Dyson in a profound way and take us in exciting new directions. In summary, our investment appetite is undiminished and we will continue to deepen our roots in both the UK and Singapore. This is not the first project which has changed direction, and it will not be the last either." He had another very innovative project which could not completely take off. It is called Contra Rotator. In the early 1990s, Dyson launched their first washing machine, the Contra Rotator. However, Dyson stopped manufacturing the washing machines in 2005 as they were losing money. As a washing machine, it was very innovative and was a great success. As a business, it wasn't successful, however. As with the Cyclone vacuum clean, the Contra Rotator was an example of radical product innovation, using two drums instead of one to mimic the motion of hand washing. When you look at Dyson's progress through 2020, we can discover that despite the failures or despite the stalled projects, the company continued to make progress on the financial front. Revenue rose from 23% to hit £5.4 billion. Even after taking a hit of nearly £200 million after the discontinued automobile project, a net income of £711 million was made. The profit jumped by 17%. Dyson continues to plan product portfolio expansion. In fact, a doubling of the portfolio of products is planned by 2025. James Dyson is credited with saying, "Relentlessly engineering better machines is what drives us. It is an obsession. That is why nothing else really works like a Dyson." There are three aspects of the Dyson way of innovation. First, Dyson would propose a radical innovation on a product. For example, a cyclone instead of a bag, and create a prototype to test his ideas. Then, through a process of discovery and experimentation, hundreds of small incremental innovations are made to the product until it is a high-functioning and thoroughly tested item. Over time, this process has allowed Dyson brand to develop a reputation for producing a well-considered and quality products while becoming a disruptor. There is also this interesting facet, not directly related to Dyson, but to the other incumbents in the industry. We discussed the topic of technological obduracy in the earlier lecture. Now, this example from Dyson's history tells us how technological obduracy actually plays out. When Dyson spent 8 years, he was trying to modernize after the product is developed. He tried all those 8 years to license his dual cyclone concept to established vacuum cleaner manufacturers, including Hoover, the leader at that time. But they all turned him down. In that way, Dyson was open with others in terms of collaboration. But the incumbents were obdurate. The industry's response to Dyson's innovation epitomized the way we do it around here. That is the closed innovation mindset. It also signified the not invented here mentality. Then the third aspect is that it refused to recognize entrepreneurship. Dyson's technology negated the need for vacuum cleaner bags, a profitable market for the manufacturers. The manufacturers wanted to protect their turf. The industry incumbents therefore created a formidable competition for themselves by rejecting the idea of Dyson to license his dual cyclone concept. This is a classic illustration of the technological obduracy of the incumbents. The incumbents created a competitor when they could have gained an asset. A small Japanese company, which I referred to in the timeline, took the innovation which provided funding for Dyson to launch his venture. After Dyson's success, incumbents tried to emulate Dyson. I also mentioned in another lecture that it is important to defend intellectual property, and that is as important as generating intellectual property. And Dyson ferociously defended his intellectual property. In 2002, Hoover was forced to pay Dyson over $4.2 million following a long patent infringement lawsuit. A court found that Hoover's triple vortex vacuums were a blatant attempt to copy Dyson's design, the same cyclone technology he offered to sell Hoover a decade earlier. Dyson's strategic capabilities were in terms of unique engineering innovation, high-end products, manufacturing in Asia, creativity, patents, freedom for employees. Innovation, manufacturing excellence, creativity, empowerment for the employees, intellectual property generation, and above all, a strategic framework that combined all of these things provided Dyson the leading edge. Innovation at Dyson can be again viewed in terms of continuous innovation with perseverance, patience, persistence, doggedness, and commitment was the hallmarks of innovation. Prototyping until perfection. And it was not just hard prototyping, it was smart prototyping. Thousands of repetitions could be made using rapid prototype development and digital prototype development technologies. And an excellence in coupling radical and incremental innovation simultaneously. Dyson always reimagined the mundane. He disrupted the status quo and secured leadership. So innovation that way was integrated with strategy. Dyson continues to have a futuristic innovation, and in keeping with the times, it is collaborative. For his latest Dyson 360i, he needed computer vision algorithm. So he began collaborating with Imperial College. He used a fisheye camera lens capable of 30 frames per second of data, and he created a vacuum cleaner with artificial intelligence, and that is computer vision at heart. He also collaborated with the Imperial College to set up a robotics lab called the Dyson Robotics Lab. It does real-time vision-based localization, mapping, scene understanding, and interaction, and this was first demonstrated in Dyson 360i product. We can look at Dyson from the viewpoint of Vortex 5 forces mod. Competitive rivalry in this industry is high. However, Dyson took a 27% market share despite being a late entrant because of the innovative edge and strategic excellence. Bargaining power of buyers, that is the customers, were moderate. Although the customers had multiple choices from which they could buy, Dyson's power of innovation prevailed over them. It enhanced the customer pull and balanced the typical buyer power that exists in a multiplayer industry. As regards bargaining power of suppliers, it was low because Dyson had the innovative lead. Suppliers knew that aligning with Dyson is the best way to go forward, and Dyson had global market and volumes. It was just not innovation in theory, it was innovation coupled with growth in theory. Therefore, Dyson had more power compared to the suppliers. Threat of new entrants was low because innovation and technical skills are already entry barriers that were established by Dyson. It made it difficult for the new entrant, and new breakthrough technologies were hard to come by because Dyson was taking every innovation leap by himself. Threat of substitutes is high generally in the appliance industry. Yet, Dyson maintained the innovative lead and proved to be a world leader in innovation strategy, reducing the threat of substitutes substantially. Dyson's financials shows continuous secular growth over the period, and along with the transfer of manufacturing to the low-cost economies, he reaped much better rewards in terms of sales growth, and of course innovation has been boosting the kind of sales Dyson had. Now let's switch to 3M. 3M is a conglomerate. It was founded in 1902. So 120 years. It was founded by four brilliant individuals. It was headquartered in Minnesota, United States, and today its revenues constitute $32 billion with a net income of $5.4 billion. It is a publicly traded company, employs over 96,000 employees globally. It has plants in Columbia and Missouri. Market capitalization is $105 billion, 3 times plus. The main products are personal protective equipment, tapes and adhesives, signs and displays, automotive products, abrasives, skin and wood care, cleaning and disinfection, aerospace and aircraft maintenance, car and boat care, chemicals, and several more. I illustrate the timeline of 3M in three parts: 1902 to 1980. Those were the formative years when certain things which were based on the material and chemical technology was developed. Starting with the company formation in 1902 and starting with the abrasive cloth as the first product, 3M kept on developing new products. For example, Scotchlite reflective sheeting that was developed in 1980 was unique, and it is a traffic sign enhancing material that was used extensively from then onwards. Many other insulative products have already developed. Then in 1984, it became the first company to go into China, and tapes continued to have innovation, and several others such as renewable energy products, and then post-it super sticky notes were brought in commercially by 3M. Even today, Scotch tape and post-it signify 3M innovation. They look like simple products, but the technology and manufacture is such that nobody can emulate to the same standard of quality and design elegance as 3M does. 3M has therefore brought in an innovation of a century plus. Today, when the timeline is completed, you will see 3M having 45 core technology platforms, 200 national markets, and 79,000 employees, with 13% employed directly as staff. In the third phase of the century innovation, 3M's 6 businesses matured into consumer and office, display and graphics, electro and communications, healthcare, industrial and transportation, safety, security, and protection services. 3M has a culture of innovation that has 15% rule. It is one of the major aspects of 3M's entrepreneurial workplace culture. This encourages employees to explore and work together to generate ideas. The first aspect is building a vision. Employees are encouraged to build a vision. Just as the company builds a vision, employees are also encouraged to build a vision. The company has foresight and tries to encourage the employees also to have foresights. And going beyond is one of the credos of 3M. Then employees are empowered to think creatively, communicate with each other, collaborate with each other, and successful projects are well rewarded and well recognized. These are the 6 principles of innovation at 3M. One of the greatest innovations of 3M has been in lamination. Thermal lamination under the brand of Scotch is very closely held and very broadly visible innovation of 3M. Early in the 1980s, 3M worked with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Australia, DFAT, to deliver a series of unique laminates that secure the data page against fraudulent alterations, that is the passport data page. 3M uses a range of core technologies that process adhesives, vapor coat processing, optics, molding, and specialty materials together. And these are innovatively applied through digital printing technology to issue passport with color facial image and signature digitally printed into the passport. This has been the world first in passports. The evolution in digital printing occurred through 3 phases: Dawn 1, Dawn 2, and Dawn 3. In Dawn 1, a passport was created with laser printed machine readable zone. That was in 1985, and it got a patent on the reverse imaging technology commercialized by 3M. In Dawn 2, reverse imaging technology was further used to directly image a black and white photograph into the reverse side of the laminate. And in 1994, the first passport with the holder's facial image and signature that were digitally printed in full color was issued. That is the phase 3. The 3M laminate also contained new covert security features, including images of the Australian quota forms, which were visible only under coaxial light, with 3 stylized kangaroos securing the signature label and a corner of the facial image. In 2009, the 3M laminate was redesigned and enhanced to incorporate a continuous Australian wave pattern visible only under UV light. All of this is pure science applied well in the practical situation. Today, This is one of the key features used by border control authorities the world over to validate the integrity of the passport. Imagine the millions of people who travel daily and the millions of passports that are required and the millions of passports that require 3M technology. 3M has been a customer-focused organization. It had at a firm level competitiveness and growth as the twin drivers. But as a company, it also wanted to survive beyond century and beyond 2 centuries now. And it promoted personal satisfaction. These were the foundational factors that drove innovation at 3M. 3M always believed in understanding customer expectations, and it always believed that loyal customers are open to new products and are receptive to new ideas. 3M's philosophy applies equally to internal customers as well as external customers. It is demonstrated through the interdependence of its 45 technology platforms and diverse global operations. 3M builds all the innovation into its operations and new products, regardless of the type and scale, during the lifeline. And thinking is another factor which is unique to 3M. It is a way of thinking that 30% of each division's revenue must come from the products introduced in the last 4 years. 3M also uses what it calls and thinking in its 3-tiered research structure. Each research area has a unique focus. There are 3 tiers of laboratories. One, the business unit laboratories, which focus on specific markets with near-term products. That is, if you have an abrasive paper that is being used, the abrasive paper will be improved. That is the business unit laboratories task. Then there are sector laboratories, focus on applications with 3 to 10 year horizons, a bit futuristic. And corporate laboratories focus on basic research with a time horizon of as long as 20 years. So immediate term, that is 1 to 3 years, sector term 3 to 10 years, and corporate term up to 20 years. Innovative companies create systems, structures and work environments to encourage resourcefulness and initiative as well as futurism in employees. 3M is the best example for the same. Successive leaders and successive executives helped in this innovation process and institutionalization of innovation. Let's look at the invention of Scotch tape in 3M. Richard Drew is the pioneer in this. While running a sandpaper test, Richard Drew noticed that the painter was not able to mask one section of a two-tone car while painting the other. The tapes either reacted with the paint or left a residue. Drew assured the painter that 3M would solve the issue and worked on it for 2 years. But the senior management wanted him to come back to his original project and work on the waterproof wet or dry sandpaper. Drew did that, but he also continued working on the tape project on his own time, and thus the Scotch tape was invented in 1930. That is the Scotch cellulose tape, the figure you see here. So innovation and resourcefulness went together. 3M has rich set of systems and structures to encourage resourcefulness. First, it provides seed capital. When inventors within the company want to do a new innovative project, they can apply for corporate funding. There is a scheme called Genesis Grant. They can also request seed capital from their unit managers and other business units based on the budgets. They can also assemble multidisciplinary teams. That is, a new venture gets formed once the idea is there and the seed capital is provided. Inventors are free to recruit members from their own teams or use the benefit of taking people from many other networking forums. Even in case of product failure, the members are guaranteed their previous jobs. Normally, bright people would not leave their jobs in one division and go to another division for fear of failure in the other division and losing the parent job as well. However, 3M ensured that even if the new project of multidisciplinary nature failed, people could get back to their original disciplines and continue on their work and their career paths. 3M also uniquely promised and provided a dual career ladder. Normally, scientists tend to become managers to go up the career ladder, but that would be deprivation of the scientific talent and unnecessary formation of managerial surplus. 3M does the other way. Scientists can move up the career ladder without necessarily becoming managers. This resulted in 3M not losing good scientists for poor managers. 3M's 15% rule has resulted in many new inventions, ensuring continuing effort on expanding the product pipeline. The 15% rule is that 3M's engineers and scientists are allowed to spend 15% of their time pursuing projects of their own choice. They are free to look for unexpected and unscripted opportunities for breakthrough innovations that have expansion as the objective. In 2012, 3M introduced the first electronic stethoscope with Bluetooth technology that allowed doctors to listen to patients' heart and lung sounds even as they went on their rounds. It also seamlessly transferred the data to software programs for deeper analysis. This was possible because some employees in the infection prevention division used their 15% time to pursue wirelessly connected electronic stethoscopes. The financials of 3M reflect the benefit of innovation. It is a company which is strong on its revenues and on its net earnings. It is not growing at a meteoric growth rate, but still it is stable and held on its own against the new generation competition that is coming up in several fields, and that is the virtue of innovation at 3M. There is a fusion of technologies if you see it at 3M. For example, when you look at a new sandpaper that is well shaped, fine grained, self-sharpening and structured abrasives that is developed and delivered by a whole combination of all the divisions that are related or that are involved in such innovative activities. Fundamentally, the mineral technology came from the abrasives division. The shape technology came from the optical systems division. Coating technologies came from the tape division. Mathematical modeling and fracture analysis came from the corporate research team. And several other internal divisional technologies were brought in. And thus was born a new sandpaper which is uniquely shaped, fine-grained, self-sharpening and structured abrasive. That is how the fusion of technologies works in 3M. 3M also practices a culture of open innovation. Over 70 full-scale operating businesses in dozens of industries in more than 70 countries around the world. Each conducts its own research while maintaining connections with all the other R&D operations throughout the company. Corporate research is responsible for developing, transmitting and supporting technologies throughout the company. Every single technical employee in the company has a dual relationship or a dual citizenship, as 3M would like to call. Each employee is a part of the particular business, lab or country in which he or she is situated. He or she is also a part of the 3M global technical community. Technologies and technological capabilities have no boundaries or barriers at 3M. Any product or manufacturing technology that is developed anywhere is available to any business in any industry in any geography around the world in the 3M network. So 3M became a company that has developed organically across consumer, electronic, transportation, industrial, safety, security and display and digital electronic markets. And that is 3M's shared leverage technology and innovation model. During the pandemic times, 3M collaborated with various other constituents. One example is given here of Ford and 3M collaboration as well as Cummins and 3M collaboration. Ford and 3M collaborated to design a powered air purifying respirator. Cummins and 3M collaborated to develop high efficiency filters for personal protective equipment. Mutual learning and enhanced delivery were the key outcomes for the collaborating partners as well as 3M. 3M had 4 good cultural components throughout the century plus of its growth. 1. Attracting and retaining imaginative and productive people. Creating a challenge work environment. We have seen how every employee is encouraged to think beyond their own regular duties and allocate 15% of time for something which is innovative beyond their day job. That is creating a challenging environment. Another challenging environment is the requirement that substantial revenues must accrue from the products designed, developed and launched over the last 4 years. Designing an organization that doesn't get in people's way. The larger an organization becomes, the more difficult it is for creativity and innovation to grow. But 3M has created a flexible organization structure in spite of having so many technological platforms, so many industrial specializations, and so many country level activities. So it designed an organization wherein anybody can collaborate with any other person and create a multicultural, multifunctional, and multidisciplinary team. So designing an organization that doesn't get in people's way was one of the highlights of 3M's cultural development. It also offered rewards that nourished self-esteem for an individual and also provided personal compensation and personal life development. These are the 4 components of 3M culture. Let's look at 3M's technologies. 3M has a very fascinating way of projecting its technology. It uses a periodic table format to demonstrate its technology platforms, and each is coded in terms of 2 letters, just as the periodic table elements are coded. And all of these come under 5 categories: materials, processing, capabilities, digital, and applications. Let's look at the materials. AB, abrasives; AD, adhesives; BI, biomaterials; CE, ceramics; CO, advanced composites; DO, orthodontic materials; EM, electronic materials; FI, films; FI, fluoromaterials. Again, F small I, films; F capital I, fluoromaterials; MM, metamaterials; NT, nanotechnology; NW, non-wovens; PM, performance materials; PO, porous materials and membranes; RM, release materials. It is difficult to see any other exciting material classification that is not captured here. Within that, 2 are latest generation developments. One is release materials, RM, and metamaterials. Nanotechnology is already passé in 3M. It has now moved to metamaterials. And in terms of processing, additive manufacturing, AM; precision coating and web processing, PC; RP, radiation processing; MO, molding; PD, particle dispersion and processing; SU, surface modification; MR, microreplication; PP, polymer processing; TF, twin film and plasma processing. These are the processing technologies. 9 processing technologies. Of this, additive manufacturing obviously is the leading edge. In terms of the capabilities, it has 6 capabilities: analytical science, the core of chemistry and chemical engineering and sciences; PR, process design and control; CP, converting and packaging; SD, sustainable design; IN, inspection and measurement; and WE, accelerated weathering. These are the capabilities. And in terms of digital skills, CV, computer vision; DS, data science and analytics; ES, electronic systems; SS, software solutions; SC, sensors; RO, advanced robotics; MS, modeling and simulation. Within this again, SD, DS, CV, RO are advanced technologies. And in terms of applications, acoustic management, AC; biodetection and microbial management, BD; connected systems, CS; drug delivery, DD; display components, DI; energy components, EC; engineered graphics, EG; FE, flexible electronics; FP, filtration and purification; HD, healthcare data management; LM, light management; MF, mechanical fasteners; SW, skin and wood management; TM, thermal management are the applications. About 14 of them, out of which again CS and TM are the newer ones. So you can see the kind of technological capabilities that are steeped in the material technologies, processing technologies, core competencies, digital technologies, and application areas. It is this formidable combination of many great technologies that have been improved over the years and decades, and also new futuristic digital technologies and new futuristic chemical and material technologies and processing technologies that have been brought in, that makes this 3M technological spectrum really unbeatable. And that also supports 3M's strong position as an innovator in materials and material-based product technologies. The latest technology forays, to repeat, are additive manufacturing, connected systems, computer vision, advanced robotics, metamaterials, data science and analytics, release materials, sustainable design, and thermal management. All of these are important parts of Industry 4.0. When the past strengths of 3M are combined with such latest technological advancements, 3M gets a leading position. In today's situation, autonomous car development is gaining a lot of ground, but autonomy depends on the ability to have in-depth analysis of the road conditions, pattern recognitions, and traffic management. In that, computer vision plays an integral role, and that in turn plays a big role in a variety of innovative 3M products across multiple divisions. The company had always the requisite experience and expertise in light management materials. The earliest traffic lights, as I said in the timeline, were based on 3M products. And when that expertise in light management materials is fused with state-of-the-art pattern recognition algorithms, we get innovative products, and they will provide enhanced machine readability properties. Such efforts include, as an example, licensed traffic signs and pavement markings. These can help autonomous vehicles navigate. These things also are reflected in orthodontic treatments that are tailored to the patient. We can also have very advanced image acquisition and analytics technologies for digital oral care. So 3M's applications are not only engineering, they are also medical. They are not only mega products, they are also simple products but very effective, such as wound care products. There is no part of life that is not improved by 3M's technologies. In some way or the other, 3M plays a significant part in our life. The simplest scotch tape and the simplest post-it slip to the latest digital technologies and digital. Of this, additive manufacturing could be one of the leaders as 3M progresses into the future. The foregoing discussion teaches us that the 3M Corporation has been a great innovative corporation. It would not have been possible for the company to have been a corporate centurion plus without a strong foundation and multiple drivers of innovation. Great companies not only institutionalize innovation within themselves, but also diffuse knowledge about innovation. 3M has published a book called A Century of Innovation, The 3M Story, which provides us several insights with reference to innovation at 3M. And these are principles that are generally applicable for us as individuals, as also members of a professional community or members of an organizational entity. So I want to spend some time reading out those principles as enunciated by 3M, and these being quite self-explanatory, I would not provide examples for each of these. From Chapter 1, Early Struggles Plant the Seeds of Innovation, arise the first set of principles, time-tested innovation truths at 3M as it calls. Conceive, believe, achieve. Persistence combined with creativity and faith is still the best formula for long-term success. Don't let one approach or solution blind you to better options. Struggle is a necessary component of success. Patient money and patient people help the big ideas germinate. Ask your customers what quality is, then never let the standard slip. Give good people opportunities, support them and watch them thrive. Respect the power of patents. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 2. From Chapter 2, 3M Innovation, A Tolerance for Tinkerers. Innovation flourishes in diverse small groups of committed people. Innovation occurs when invention meets commercialization. Be open to ideas from unexpected quarters. Consistent, long-term investment in R&D is crucial to innovation success. Innovation comes from individual initiative, not just following orders. From Chapter 3, 3M Innovation, How It Flourished, the other principles. The most successful innovators network interact, and share their knowledge and problems. Get your hands dirty in the innovation process. It is meant to be messy. It is not up to 3M's customers to ask for products they need. It is up to the company to anticipate the needs customers don't even know they have and develop product solutions. Listen, when your heart says don't stop. Use the tools at your disposal to support and give protection to embryonic ideas with great promise. Be a mentor. You will never regret it. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M4. Have the patience and persistence to let the fuzzy front end sharpen. Randomness and chaos are both part of innovation. The most important innovations respond to an unarticulated need. Innovation may take you to uncharted territory beyond your scope of expertise, what you call today as going beyond the zone of comfort. Be open to every possible application or combination of core technologies. Embryonic ideas, even the best ones, will die without sponsors and champions. Collaborate early and often. This is from Chapter 4, Ingenuity Leads to Breakthroughs. Chapter 5, No One Succeeds Alone, has more time-tested innovation truths. It is difficult to succeed alone. Building a career at 3M requires the support of others. The most successful mentoring at 3M is informal. It flourishes with personal contact and good rapport. Sponsors help advance a person's career and keep it on track. Champions have strong credibility. They are persuasive lobbyists for new ideas and products at 3M. Their willingness to take risks is more important than their titles. The most successful 3M leaders have been mentors, sponsors, champions, or all three. Those who are successfully mentored often later successfully mentor others. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M, cluster number 6. No risk, no reward, patient money. Product ideas that can change the basis of competition merit patient money and patient support from internal sponsors. The early stages of a new product or technology shouldn't be over-managed. Products that require years of attention and investment but will never blossom need to be weeded out as early as possible. Success separates the persistent from the simply stubborn. Ideas with the highest potential often require people to take the long view. Uninhibited research for uninhabited markets is a 3M tradition, a great statement. Uninhibited research for uninhabited markets is a 3M tradition. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 7. Aggressive protection of 3M's intellectual property has always been a key factor in 3M's growth. Intellectual property protects 3M's R&D investments. 3M owns the patents. 3M divisions own the products. 3M competes with unique products. The most effective intellectual property defense serves a business objective. Understanding and protecting 3M's intellectual property isn't just the responsibility of lawyers. From Chapter 7, The Power of Patents. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 8. Being customer intimate means getting out with your customers, living with them and seeing what they see, what we call design thinking today. Know your market well enough to anticipate your customers' wants and needs even before they do. The best customer is a partner. 3M is innovative when it gives its customers solutions to their problems. Be the first to make your own best products obsolete. Give people a product that is better than they have, or one they didn't know they needed until they tried it. From Chapter 8, Look Behind the Smokestacks. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 9. Get a foot in the door early. Build from there and consider international a long-term investment. Create a strong presence with manufacturing, sales and marketing, research and development, and aggressive patent protection worldwide. Just do it. Entrepreneurs who had freedom to act and the right support from St. Paul, that is the headquarters, helped international side. Hire good people, local people, give them responsibility and trust them. American products are not one size fits all around the world. Tailor products to meet local needs. 3M's strategy is global, but its implementation is local. In all countries and cities of the world, be a good corporate citizen. From Chapter 9, Going Global, the Formative Years. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 10. 3M international operations aren't intended to be cookie-cutter duplicates of 3M's US operations. 3M International flourished when it became an equal integrated partner with 3M USA. A long-held international growth credo often is still true. FIDO, first in defeats others. 3M's global growth was a business-driven decision, fueled by the knowledge that 95% of the world's population lives outside the United States. 3M's long-standing financial strength has allowed the company to take the long view in international expansion, regardless of economic volatility and political uncertainty. These are from Chapter 10, Capitalizing on a Global Presence. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 11. At their best, 3M divisions are entrepreneurial and focus on their customers. A loose-tight philosophy of management balances entrepreneurial action and corporate consistency where it matters most. 3M's divide and grow tradition is the catalyst behind business growth. White spaces are the untapped markets with promise that 3M has not yet entered. Renewal and recreation are fundamental to the 3M culture. From Chapter 11, Divide and Grow, Follow the Technology. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 12. At the foundation of 3M's culture are critical attributes that influence decisions, big and small. 3M is committed to doing the right thing and not the easiest or the least costly thing. A culture of caring for employees is a major tenet of the 3M culture. Integrity is embedded in 3M's culture. 3M leadership is willing to take and hold an unpopular stand if it believes it is the right thing. 3M takes a long-term view in the economies where it has a presence. While culturally diverse, 3M employees around the world share the same core values. 3M has always believed in being a good corporate citizen. From Chapter 12, Defining Moments Strengthen 3M's Culture. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 13. Shedding a product, project or division can be healthy. It is sometimes a necessary part of a growing, changing company. There is time to win and a time to cut your losses. Know the difference. Decisions to sell or exit a business require courage, clear heads and compassionate follow-through. Even if a business is sold, valuable expertise and technology often remain in the company. When the marketplace and the margins change, revisit your business goals. Good ideas can come from outside 3M. Be wary of not invented here blind spots. From Chapter 13, A Culture of Change. Time-tested innovation truths at 3M 14. 3M's top executives needed mentors too. Over time, they learned to be mentors, sponsors, and champions of others. 3M's leaders learned early to be team players. Many of these leaders have thought and acted like entrepreneurs. Over 300 years, 3M has had the right person at the right time in the top job. Every 3M leader has stood tall in tough times. From Chapter 14, 3M leaders, the right choice at the right time. These are the key notes. Of course, the book itself is a manual that is almost like Bible of Innovation, which people must read and assimilate. Thank you.